After a month or a few months of experiments, that's what we got so far. The colors are unique. I did not do anything other than putting the metal inside and putting vinegar on it. That brown color is constantly brown. Is it contamination or is it chemical reaction? You can tell, can you tell? The magnet is attracted to it because it is iron. It is brown. That one did not change color, even though it is some kind of iron or steel that doesn't have very slow interaction with vinegar. There is a little change, but you cannot notice it maybe for a few more months. You put the magnet to it because it is weakly magnetic. If you lose the magnet, it is weakly, so it doesn't even lift the steel up until you get it with an angle. It's very weakly magnetic. Yeah, you can tell right here. Okay, now we got, but you need a very small distance to grasp the steel away. Doesn't interact with vinegar. This is for sure, this is copper, so it doesn't have any magnetism in it. But it, as you see, it is blue and green. It interacts with vinegar, but it takes a few months. It's about 3 months now. This is the most interesting one. That become almost, it is not even red. Look at it is attracted to the magnet. Got a very strong discoloration. The color, whether it is dissolving or interacting. It's also still, it's just the homemade stuff. This one did not color the vinegar at all. Whether it's nickel or aluminum or tin, it does not color and it does not attract to the magnet. This is the interesting one. As you can see before we leave this one, whether the plastic collapsed to the side, I don't know until I remove the cover. Is it going to recoil? Because it seems like it's absorbing the gas, the air. So let me remove the cover and see if it's going to pop. Not hear anything. Yes, it did. It did. Look at that. Now it's circular. So there was a sound, but the sound is not clear, but it was circular. But it did collapse. The plastic collapsed. As soon as I removed the cover, the air went inside. The air rushed inside. That was definitive proof that the metal absorbed or interacted with the air. And now it's circular. Now what kind of metal? It's just a piece of, as you can tell, it's just a piece of stuff like a can, a food can. From this kind right here. So this one absorbs the air or sucks the air out or oxygen to interact with it, but it doesn't have any discoloration. This one also is very interesting. These two are interesting. This one, as you see, it is kind of steel. The same kind of steel that you use to clean this kind of steel right here. Look what happened to it. It did not color the water. The plastic collapsed. But if you look at the balloon has pressure on it. When I put the balloon, there was no air in it. It collapsed. What that tells you, and there is a collapse here. So how comes you have gas here and you have collapsed here? Most probably, the only explanation is the metal and the peroxide absorbs the oxygen and release the hydrogen. Because the hydrogen is lighter than the air, it flies to the top. Well, this is hydrogen mostly. How do you know how do you know it's hydrogen or not? You do the pop test. You bring a match close to it. This is air for sure, but this is collapsed plastic, which means if I remove this, the plastic will return the same way that happened here, happened in this bottle. If I put a balloon on this bottle, it will do the same thing like this, which I am going to do in the next experiment. Now, all these colors that you have are 2.5 months old. You just put the metal in the bottle, you put the vinegar on it, and you leave it. Don't disturb it, leave it for a long time. You are going to notice that changes, the different changes. Here the metal did not, here the plastic did not collapse, did not produce any gases. Look, when I turn it, the plastic is not, here you cannot tell because the plastic is strong, cannot collapse. Here the plastic is strong also. Here it did not produce any gases. Here it sucks the oxygen and it produces the hydrogen. That's why it collapsed before I open the top. How about the pH? I did not measure the pH for now. I'm going to measure the pH another time.